Some big news in Medicare world that I want to share today here on my YouTube channel, and that is connected again to some law changes connected to the Inflation Reduction Act. And this has to do with people who are working past 65. They have employer coverage that traditionally or previously has been viewed as credible coverage. But because of some of the changes with Medicare Part D, which is the prescription drug plans, you may have to double check moving forward in 2025 whether or not your employer is offering you credible coverage for your prescription drugs if you're working past 65. Hang with me, I'll walk you through this article. So, this was an article that was put out recently, and it's entitled Medicare Upgrades Could Disqualify Your Private Plan. By the way, I'll put a link to this article in the description of the video if you want to read it for yourself. So it says if you're working past 65 and relying on your employer's health plan rather than Medicare, this article is for you. Upgrades coming to Medicare prescription drug coverage under the Inflation Reduction Act may cause actual problems for some people who delay enrolling in Medicare because they are covered by employer health insurance. The issue relates to penalties assessed against Medicare beneficiaries who enroll later than their initial eligibility dates. If you are employed in a job that provides health insurance past age 65, you can delay signing up for Medicare without penalty, as long as certain conditions exist. In the case of prescription drug coverage, the plan has to pay on average as much as the standardized Medicare prescription drug coverage. So typically you will be notified of this from your employer. So this is something that would probably come to you in the mail that you're going to want to pay attention to if you are delaying enrolling in Medicare and working past 65. They have to send this information to you every year, so there's a high probability that you're going to get a letter or some sort of notice this year about the changes in 2025. So always pay attention to your mail. I know you get a lot of junk mail as a Medicare beneficiary. Sift through it, make sure there isn't stuff in there you need to keep. So again, in the past, in order for it to be credible with Medicare, the plan has to pay on average as much as the standard Medicare prescription drug coverage. With improvements coming to Part D going into effect January 1st, some employer plans that qualified as credible because their benefits were at least as good as those offered by Part D before the changes may no longer be eligible. For instance, starting January 1st, the out-of-pocket maximum under Part D will be $2,000 a year. If a private plan doesn't cap the amount policyholders have to pay at $2,000 or less a year, the policy may not suffice as a substitute, allowing beneficiaries to delay enrolling in their Part D without penalty. The late enrollment penalty is imposed every month you are enrolled in Medicare if at any time after your initial enrollment period there's a period of 63 or more days in a row where you don't have Medicare drug coverage or other credible prescription drug coverage. Medicare calculates the penalty by multiplying 1% of the national base beneficiary premium. In 2024, that was $34.70 times the number of full uncovered months you didn't have Part D or credible coverage. The monthly penalty is rounded to the nearest 10 cents and permanently added. That's a key word there, permanently added to your Part D premium. The law requires insurers to notify Medicare eligible policyholders whether their prescription drug coverage is credible coverage. But if your employer insurance hasn't notified you should inquire in time to plan your coverage decisions when Part D changes. So as you can imagine, this is another disruption that is coming because of the Inflation Reduction Act that is going to go into effect in 2025. It's something that you're going to want to be aware of. It's something you're going to want to pay attention to. and you really want to figure out who do I know at my employer or my company who manages my benefits, who notifies me of these things, and who is the carrier that you have your coverage with, because you can contact them directly because you are a customer with them. It's amazing how many people I talk to and they don't know who is holding their employer coverage. You want to know who that is. If you have other questions about Medicare, love to have you leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can do so on my website, meetjamie.com. I hope you're subscribed so you get all of these updates that I'm sharing. Have a great day.